Welcome to the Nick and Matt Show. Bringing the player interviews you want to hear and the hot topics you want to discuss. Streaming live on the Foundation Podcast YouTube channel, here's Nick and Matt.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 55. And if you're wondering why I might have had a little laugh in my voice, it's because I had to redo the intro here. But Nick, you're sitting next to somebody. He's in town somehow, some way. I'm not sure why he's down there. Introduce us to who you have sitting next to you.
I have Adam HAMMES sitting next to me, elite team player from Team Discraft, and he's been at the last few events, so he's got some incredible insight to give us on the Pro Tour and everything going down with that. So super excited to have him in person and all that jazz.
All that jazz. So so Adam, you have on a shirt that says Team Discraft. How long have you been playing for Team Discraft?
I believe this is my third year,
Okay.
third or fourth year.
What was that like for you? Yeah. What was that like for you when you got the invite? Is that something you've been trying for a while?
I mean, it was, I switched the same year as Macbeth did. I was with Idlewild for 3 years prior. It definitely was an easy switch. Because at the time, I didn't realize Discraft was, blow up and become what it is today. So I'm thankful I made the switch when I did, and I'm thankful to, be on the team as of now. So it's been great.
Yeah, cool. We're excited to have you on we're going to call you a co-host tonight. We're not going to grill you with questions, but we are excited to have you on here and get your input as a touring player. But in other news, real quick, let's get right to it. We have an addition to Team Discraft, and his name is not Matt Graham. It's Nicholas Carl. Nick, what do you got to share with the world? A few things. Okay. He's holding up. What are you holding up there?
So this is actually a sweatshirt that I was given a while back, and it was always kind of a motivator for a team that I've been wanting to play on forever. And years ago, I was fortunate enough to get onto the underground team. And then to my amazing surprise today, Paul, Bob Julio, Jeff, and Adam, and Hannah all surprised me actually with a Proto Luna that says Team Discraft on it. And they did this nice little surprise. And it was a very, very eventful moment. And I was super, super thankful for everything that Discraft has done. And so I am officially not on the underground team anymore, but I'm on the tour team for Team Discraft, and I'm very, very excited.
You've made it above ground. What's it like up there?
Yeah.
What's it like up there above ground?
It's pretty sweet. I mean, it's definitely been an eventful day to say the least. And so this was a big moment. It's definitely been something that I've been pushing for the last few years, especially in the last 8 months. I put a lot of different things on life on hold so that I could pursue trying to become the best player that I could. And I've obviously had some pretty decent success this year. And then it's pretty sweet to kind of see it all pay off, where Bob Julio, Paul Ulibarri, and Paul Macbeth all kind of saw the strides that I've made in my disc golf game, and to where Discraft is actually willing to take a chance on me and put me up on that next level. So it's a very, very great moment in my career.
Okay.
Big time.
Yeah, it's about time. So, Adam, from your perspective, because you've gone through this journey and you've been on, when you were with Innova, you were on, what team were you with Innova? Do you remember?
I was on the crew team for 3 years.
Okay. And now you're on Team Discraft. What does Nick have to look forward to? Like, everybody's journey is different, but like, is he going to get signature disc? I mean, like, literally, I don't know. Like, what does it look like for you as a player?
For Nick, he can, start growing his brand, like Nick Carl, like start making a name around, the name Nick Carl. And, it can be logos, now he can have fundraiser discs. There's all kinds of, open doors and opportunities for him now. And, we're here. The team's here to support you. It's a family. It's awesome. So a lot of cool things in store for you.
I'm very excited to eventually, I don't know when it will happen, but definitely sometime in the near future, to put a stamp of mine on a disc and be able to put that out into the world. I'm super excited for that. I've thrown a lot of my friends' discs, Adam's discs, Paul's discs, and a lot of the other elite team members and other tour team members. And so to finally actually be able to put my name on something is something that a lot of people dream of in the sport of disc golf, and I can't wait.
I'm gonna need a Nick Carl buzz in my bag.
I'm really hoping
sure.
to get some Nick Carl buzzes.
I'm gonna need a Nick Carl disc in my bag.
That's the plan.
The chat's going wild for you. Congrats on that, Nick. But also, and this is like, maybe it pales in comparison, but we have one other announcement. Nicholas Carl. Last week, the PDGA rating update had 30 players that were 999 rated. 30. And the rating update happened. We checked out the stats thanks to Statmando. We're going to get to a lot more Statmando stuff around the corner here. But they checked it out and they found out that only 13 players moved up to at least 1,000 or higher out of those 30. So we've added 13 players to the 1,000 rated club, and only one of them hit the nail on the head with the 1,000. 1,000. I feel like that's kind of the Price is Right. Do you get a bonus spin for that?
I don't know. I was thinking about coming out with some 1,000 rated get freakies, but I'm not. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh boy.
No, it definitely wasn't. It was a little too close. I was actually kind of nervous of it because I had played a small C tier and I actually won it, but it feels weird. I feel weird actually counting it as a win because I averaged below my rating by like 11 points. And so the next weekend I went and played a tournament, averaged 11 points above my rating. But fortunately, a while back, I had played a rated league and they all got put in at the same time. So all of a sudden I had one more 10-14 rated round go in.
There you go.
And that is actually probably, I'm 99% sure that's actually what jumped me up to hit the 1,000 rated mark. And I was going to be really sad because I'm not playing a single event in August. And so had I missed it this month, I wouldn't know if I was going to be 1,000 rated till October because I have a couple events in September. So fortunately, I did it. I'm super thankful for it. So now the PDGA system can completely wipe the ratings, and I can always say that I was 1,000 rated player at one point. So.
Hey, those PDGA league rounds can be pretty good for ratings. I watched Devin Owens simply get to 1040 just off of the Vista PDGA league round in Arizona.
That's actually incredibly awesome. But no, luckily I played so many tournaments this year. I think this is actually the year that I played the most tournaments, and to see the substantial growth in my game when it comes to a lot of different areas has been really fun to do. And disc golf's really a lot of fun when you feel like you're good at it. And I feel like I'm a pretty decent player. So it's fun going out to events and actually doing well.
All I can say is I'm glad in the beginning when we decided to start this podcast, we chose each other, Nick. I'll just say that. We're on to big things. Big things. I didn't say bigger and better, but big things.
We always talk about this, Matt, but in 2013, 2014, when you actually showed me disc golf and we both started you were already serious into it, but when I was serious into it, it's kind of funny because if you asked me 7-8 years ago, if we were going to be where we're at in our disc golf careers, I would have said absolutely not. Like we host a podcast and then you also host a show with your brother on the Disc Golf Network. Like you are working directly with the greatest live coverage that we have in the sport and this awesome network. And then we get to meet people, and Adam is an Elite Series winner. He's a national tour winner. He's been on the lead card so many times at these massive events, and he's sitting right next to me. And so the opportunities that Matt, we've been given are pretty incredible. And it's awesome. Yeah. If you were to tell me 8 years ago that these things were happening, I mean, shoot, Discraft was the first company that I fell in love with. And Nate Doss, don't tell Paul this, but Nate Doss has been one of my favorite players pretty much my whole career. And so to finally be on the level of being able to put Team Discraft on my back as it's sweet. It definitely it's a pretty fun thing.
It's definitely a sweet thing.
I got Adam, who's a really good buddy of mine now, and he's one level above me, and I get to look forward to one day trying to get up to the elite team. So it's sweet.
I was just going to say, we should have got Nate Doss on to say, congrats, buddy. I can hear him, right? But then I'm like, okay, we settled for Adam. That's fine.
Dude, I feel like we'd have to pay Nate Doss like $1,000 to get like 10 seconds of him being on the show. Like to me, he's just like, he's that guy.
The man.
Yeah.
Real quick before we transition, you were mentioning league rounds, Adam, and I think I just saw, well, I guess technically it's not a league round. Avery Jenkins was up here. He played a Borderland Flex League, Nick, I think this weekend, and he shot like 1,058 rated Flex League. So that's good for his rating, I'm sure.
Holy cow, did he
Yeah.
really? I didn't realize he shot that well. I was actually going through the live scoring when they were playing, and I didn't get to see the end of it, actually. I totally forgot about it. But damn, that's awesome.
I think it was a course record. So,
Ooh. Well, if there's going to be someone to do it, it's going to be a former world champion. I mean, the guy's really freaking good at disc golf.
oh man, I can already tell the show's going to be good. I love already the little inputs that Adam's giving to us. It's such a help to our show. So it's not just Nick and Matt droning on. All right.
Yeah.
Let's get into it here. I went camping this past week, and tell you what, sleeping on an air mattress was not the most awesome thing that you can do. Now, camping is great, and sleeping on an air mattress while camping is better than not. But as far as like the aches and pains in my joints after like setting up a tent, and honestly, like using a hatchet to like chop up wood, I was feeling it in my joints, and the tendonitis in my my right wrist was flaring up. But Nick, we have a very cool sponsor in Hempfield Botanicals CBD product. They offer all different things for you to recover. They want you to feel good and play better. Hempfield Botanicals. I use this salve. Let's see. I always try to get it to focus. There it is. And the salve, there's no joke. It feels awesome when I put it on. Like the pain in my wrist, I've already used it twice today and feels way better. I think this product is something that every disc golfer should get. You don't have to use the salve. You can go with this muscle recovery. It's more general in the sense of like your basic aches and pains. But this is coming from someone, Nick, who never used a CBD product until we were contacted about, hey, we have an opportunity to sponsor the show. And I was like, yeah, it's not something I use. But I'll tell you what, I have bought in and I'm a fan. Everyone should check out hempfieldbotanicals.com. 20% off when you use the code Nick and Matt. Nick, have you been able to use this anymore since our last episode?
Well, I have kind of a funny story about that. I actually went out to Fredericksburg, Virginia this last week to do a real estate class. It was 40 hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. And almost every single day I'd go out and play a disc golf course after sitting for 8 hours a day. And unfortunately, I actually totally forgot to bring my new CBD products. And I could definitely notice it, especially in my back. After sitting down all day and then sitting in my car 20 minutes to try to get to the course and then just pretty much going out there and throwing, that I do miss the CBD products that I've been using in the last few weeks. And so I'm actually going to get to a point soon where I myself am going to have to put in an order. I really like the stuff, and it's funny, but it smells good. And I love the chapstick. That's actually probably been my favorite thing lately. And I was never a chapstick person really growing up. But now that I've been using it pretty consistently, I feel weird when it's not in my car or with me.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So, it's actually, yeah. Anyways, 20% off is a big deal. Go over to hempfieldbotanicals.com, use code Nick and Matt, and you will not be disappointed. I guarantee it. If you're questioning to use it or not, it's totally, I've been assured multiple times in writing, you're not getting THC out of this through these rubs and these salves unless the product says that. So feel free, feel comfortable. I'm a safety professional, and my job is on the line if that's the case. So I'm not really rolling the dice here. I feel like it's too big. I've got a family. It's a good product. That's my point. It's a good product. Feel good using this. Play better. All right. So, all right, Nick, let's get right into the stats of what has happened here at Idlewild. Now, right before we jump into full discussion, Adam, you came out of the gates a little soft, but then you turned it on later on. You finished, what place did you finish at, and how'd you feel about your tournament there at Idlewild?
For me, finishing outside the top 10 is like not as good as a weekend as, I would like. Top 10 is what I strive for each week. My first round was, a struggle. Just throwing the disc kind of sideways, not really committing to my lines, going OB, missing some putts. And then I just, came in the second round, like no nerves, no nothing. I'm sitting, back in 60th something place and busted out a 7 under and then finished the tournament with an 8 under. I'm happy. I got tied for 15th. Definitely not what I was looking for, but with how I started, I'm happy with the finish.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things that I've learned actually playing disc golf in the last few years is, and this is nothing obviously against what you were just saying, but you can't win a tournament on the first round, but you can definitely lose a tournament on the first round. And so I think even, fortunately for a player of Adam's caliber, he's able to not have the start that he wants to at a tournament, but he's able to kind of like lose those nerves now. And then round 2 and 3, potentially 4, depending on the event, he's able to go out there and not in a carefree mindset, but in kind of like a I have nothing to lose mindset. And so it is really cool to be able to see players kind of bounce back from that first round and end up making a push to put them in a decent position. And obviously, oh, I said my bad word. So
I've said my bad word.
Place.
All right.
Yeah. And 15th place, though, definitely not something to be ashamed of, especially out on the pro tour, playing against the best players in the world. But it's good that you have the standards of you want to get top 10 every single time.
Yeah, for me, when I start a tournament, weak, and I necessarily don't have a chance to win the tournament anymore, obviously I'm a little bit bummed, and I'm not having a chance to win, sucks. But I'll take the positive out of it, and come into the second round and try to throw some different lines and different shots that I necessarily wouldn't throw when I am playing my best. Just try some shots that make me feel uncomfortable when I'm under pressure and stuff like that, just so I can practice those in spots and positions where it doesn't really hurt me. If I'm not going to win the tournament, for me it's not really the end of the world. I just want to go out there, have fun, and I can learn some new shots that I necessarily might not throw.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, it's going to be a long time before I feel like I should be placing top 10 at an Elite Series. Maybe never. Speaking of highest ratings, I say it every week. I'm at my highest still, but I actually dropped 3 with the last Nick. You went up 1, I went down 3, so it's all right.
I mean, it's tough. Yeah, not every single update is going to be a positive update, and I think that's kind of the beauty of disc golf is
we won't talk about your next update. We won't talk about your next one. I mean, maybe it's going on.
I mean, it depends. If I go up to like 1050 next update, then you sure as hell know we're talking about.
You need more league rounds. You're going to have
yeah, exactly. A couple more league rounds happening. But no, for the most part, as long as I don't go down, my goal is obviously to maintain an above 1,000 average. My goal is always to push to be the best player that I can be. And if I can do that, then my rating is going to consistently go up, which is what I am striving for. So, but anyways, I think, Matt, before we get into the full-on Idlewild talk, I do want to congratulate the winners of the Ledgestone Insurance Open, which kind of weird. We had 2 winners on the MPO side, and then correct me if I'm wrong, but Paige ended up winning on the FPO side, correct?
So, yeah.
Okay, so Paige winning on the FPO side. It's weird, dude. When we don't have a show, I like lose knowledge.
And time flies. In fact, people are right now checking. Oh my gosh, yeah. People are checking their podcast, Apple Play, or whatever they're doing right now, right? And they're like, "What week was this?" They're trying to feel. This is episode 55. Yes, you did not miss a show. Nick and I are just going to do a quick recap here. So Ledgestone happened. The quick recap. Weather came in.
Yeah, weather came in, ruined the last round for the MPO side. But I'm sorry, but Paige annihilated it at Ledgestone. She actually won by 11 strokes. So kudos on Paige for kicking butt at that tournament. And then Calvin and Ricky both tying the last round because the last round for the MPOs did not count. Kyle Klein was making a massive push, started out for 5 for 5 that last round, and actually had the solo lead when they ended up calling the tournament. But
I don't really care. I don't really care because solo lead, what does that even mean? He was a couple holes ahead. Like he had more holes to play where he could score. So like it was obviously a talking point. I'm not saying it's not a talking point. And it's a bummer. In fact,
I totally agree.
And Adam, how far were you through the event when it got canceled?
I had a 40-footer on the last hole for birdie when the horn was blown. I didn't even get to throw my last putt of the tournament.
Oh.
So,
which is fine because I actually went down in spots. So having the round canceled actually made me a couple extra $100.
Oh, that's interesting.
I was all right with.
Yeah,
well, tell us really quick. You played Northwoods Black, which is, from what I've been reading and what I've been hearing, is potentially the hardest course in the world.
Northwoods Black is unbelievable. I'm pretty sure Nate Heinold has lost his mind at this point. No, I think the front 9 on that course is probably the best 9 wooded holes in disc golf. Back to back to back to back, all the way to 9, and then you hit the back 9. And if you didn't shoot good on the front 9, you're fatigued and you're a little upset. Your back 9 isn't going to go any better. Course is extremely hard. You get off the fairway at all, you're pitching out. Everyone that watched HAMMES and all the coverage got to see firsthand what we had to deal with. It was brutal. Even par is an unbelievable score out there. I was 6 over for 2 rounds, and my 1 over felt pretty good. I still had a triple in there and a couple single bogeys, but that's going to happen to everyone. I don't think we saw a clean scorecard out there. Everyone had at least 1 bogey. So
yeah, which is absolutely wild.
Yeah, but a huge shout out to Nate Heinold. He took over D-Glow as well this year, and to have his expertise and his willing to professionalize and push the quality of a disc golf tournament is unbelievable. I think he's the best TD we have in disc golf at the moment, and what he's doing for the sport is phenomenal. And what a guy.
Yeah, I was saying that the way he ran D-Glow, I heard that was one of the best running events this year. It had a lot of great changes, and then same thing with Ledgestone. To be able to raise over $200,000 for 5 different charities, and being a major part of the St. Jude is pretty incredible. Hats off to Nate Heinold, and hats off to Discraft for allowing those things to happen and pushing the sport even more forward with everything that they do at these events. But kind of getting away from those ones now, Matt, we had 2 massive tournaments happen this last weekend. We were talking about Idlewild, so I guess let's get back into that. We had potentially, I would say arguably, the closest tournament that we've had all year. There was someone on the first 3 cards who could have walked away with the victory at this event. People were making pushes. People were eagling holes that needed to get eagled coming down the stretch. People were parking the island hole in hole 17. Insane things happened, but it ended up going down into a playoff between Kyle Klein and Andrew Marweed, who we've actually talked about a pretty decent amount this year. Silky smooth forehand.
Very good.
Can crush a backhand. And seems like a really solid putter.
Yeah, his putt's been on. The last 2 weeks we saw him finish 4th at Ledgestone, and we went into the playoff with Kyle here at Idlewild, and he made that clutch, circles edge putt on the first hole to push it to hole 2. So
yeah, an elevated basket as well with absolute. The death doesn't really matter if you miss the putt in the playoff. You're probably losing anyways. But to be able to go in, clutch up that single putt, and then Kyle frickin' Klein. That dude is on a mission. This last month, we played 4 Pro Tour events in a row lately, and Kyle Klein, I'll say this again. I played with him in 2019 at D-Glow. I remember him parking a hole that was massively uphill. I think back then it was hole 11. And I was like, dude, this kid is a freaking baller.
How about this? He's 19 years old and he's 5th in the world right now in world rankings.
19. 5th.
All right. I don't know why this happens sometimes, but Nick's computer freezes up a little bit. But what they were saying, you probably heard it. 5th in the world. Wow.
Are we back?
You're back, but 5th in the world, 19 years old.
Okay.
Pretty epic. Let me say a list of names here who were definitely in it to win it. You set it all up. But there's a few storylines here that do need to be discussed. Paul McBeth being one of them. He always is, but there's something really significant here, I feel like. But Paul McBeth was obviously going into the final. Why did I just say obviously? I just said Paul McBeth's obviously going into, okay, so it's rubbing off on me. Paul McBeth, 3-stroke lead going into the final round. That's pretty good. You don't give Paul McBeth a 3-stroke advantage going into a final round. I don't think that's a good idea. We're going to talk about that. But Ricky Wysocki also had a chance, technically, to get the win. Kevin Jones, technically. Calvin Heimberg, Joel Freeman, Drew Gibson. By the way, an amazing 12-under final round for Drew Gibson. Joel Freeman, I skipped over him. What did he shoot? An 11 down final round? Really hot round as well. Shooting eagles when they needed to, getting birdies, big putts, everything. And we had, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. There was 6 people at 24 under come like the last hole. So if Kyle and Andrew par out, you have a 6-way playoff. And just something notable there. I don't know if you heard on Disc Golf Network. I think it was Sunday. was the first time in recorded history for the PGA that they had a 6-person playoff, sudden death playoff ever in the PDGA, first time. And we were potentially setting up for that. I was like, what are the chances of this?
Yeah, I'm kind of mad that Kyle and Andrew birdied that last hole. Could you imagine a 6-way playoff? Like, I'm just thinking about that.
How long would it go?
That would have been something.
How long would a 6-hole playoff go? Like realistically, probably a long time.
Over 9 holes.
Realistically, it'd probably be over after the front 9. But I think like
what hole would it end on?
Hole 4.
Okay, I was gonna say what hole would it end on? Yeah,
hole 4.
Well, I mean, technically, it could end on hole 1.
It could.
If 5 people 4 it and 1 person 3s it, or 1 person 2s it. We did see Kevin Jones 2 it one round, didn't we? I mean,
I heard from Drew Gibson if he would have gotten the 6-way playoff, he would have been going for hole 1. So potentially someone would have got the eagle on 1 and would have ended it there.
Out of all the people in the world, Drew Gibson could throw past hole 1. I mean, he could probably throw a buzz at hole 1. It's disgusting what he does.
And to be fair to Kyle,
names they all can.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
Calvin Einberg, Kevin Jones, Kyle Klein, and like all these players. A 6-way playoff would have been incredibly insane. And to Andrew and Kyle, thank you for ruining that. We could have had this massive thing. I'm just kidding. Congrats to Kyle and Andrew. That was sick. But it would have been way cool for a 6-way playoff.
It would have been pretty sick.
Yeah, and to be fair to Kyle, I think he went for it on his playoff and he got it far enough down. It was just a little out of position where he had to lay up.
Must be nice to throw far. Adam, will you teach me how to throw far this week? That'd be cool.
Yeah,
I saw you. Didn't you put it in circle 1 during your practice rounds?
I posted a reel on my Instagram. I threw it into circle 1 with a nuke. I didn't really tell everyone about the 20-mile-an-hour tailwind, but
we can edit that out. Don't worry. Our live viewers heard you.
I still think I could get it there with calm wind, but
Nick,
the tailwind definitely helps.
Yeah. Huh? Remind everybody what Yuli told you on Smugs, I think hole 18, about how to throw far.
Oh no, it was dude, we were at D-Glow last year and I asked Yuli to give me a quick lesson on like how to throw far. And so no, I was just asking for like a quick tip of like, dude, why the hell am I throwing like not very far at all? Because I probably have the bottom percentage of throwers, especially when I go out to a pro tour event. It's actually kind of sad. And Yuli was like, okay, throw this disc at this tree as hard as you can. So I threw it and he was like, nah, dude, like throw it as hard as you can. And I was like, that was. And he was like, show me again, do it again. I did it again. And he was like, bro, you are so slow. And I was just like, oh, this is embarrassing. And so anyways, Yuli, I'm sorry to say, but I've not gained any more distance. I've gained accuracy, which is really good. That obviously helps out, especially in wooded golf. But my distance is lacking. So
you throwing the nuke?
Sometimes back. I use it for forehands. For forehands, it's an amazing disc. Backhands,
I'm gonna get you some good nukes.
Yeah, we'll figure.
You'll get some for that.
Got a decent stash.
Shots going.
Yeah, we'll
there you
figure
go.
It out,
Team Discraft in the house.
Yeah, I'm gonna show Adam tomorrow New London, which I'm super excited for. The course is insane, and he'll finally be able to check it out. He'll actually get some early practice for Battle for Bedford that he's playing in the middle of September, which is a massive tournament in and of itself.
Yeah,
everyone will be
to see Paul's design. I've heard great things. I've seen some pictures. Looking forward to it tomorrow.
Yeah. I have some 167 first run ESP nukes, Nick. I can bomb those. So
yeah, so what's funny is actually my first ace was with a 167 pink nuke, and I threw it on a 300-foot hyzer, and that was back when I had to throw nukes for 300 feet. So it ended up somehow catching. And shout out to my partner, Derek Brzezowskis. He was there for my first ace. And Matt, you actually saw it go in or heard it. You were in the cart in front of me. You were walking down to hole 4 when I threw it in. And I remember that was like a Christmas feeling. I actually didn't think a lot of things would top that feeling. But what happened with today with the whole Team Discraft thing, that was like, it was a very real moment. So that was pretty sweet. But yeah.
All right.
I love nukes. They're awesome.
That's all the free advertisement for Discraft we're giving. You got to take the shirts off. No, we're not that kind of show either. So let's talk about it. There's still a few storylines. We haven't even gotten to FPO yet. And we still haven't talked European Open Championships, which is a whole nother topic. There's a lot of event recap. And we have new segments to run tonight. Stat or fiction. That came up from our last show that we did. So here's one of them. Like, as far as like talking points go here, Paul Macbeth, 3-stroke lead. He shoots a 2 down. Now, before I diss that too much, Adam, that's what you shot the first round, right?
That is exactly what I shot.
So generally, because I feel like I looked at your round, it was from the perspective of an amateur. I'm like, that's a really good round. So I mean, but to your standard, did it feel boring, frustrating? What was a -2? What does that feel like to you?
It's definitely frustrating. It was one of those rounds where as soon as I got a birdie and I, got on a high and felt good, the next hole would be a bogey, just super up and down. It was a roller coaster. My scorecard was pretty colorful on U-Disc. Yeah, I don't know. Just wasn't mentally, there that round. I was kind of fatigued. It's been a long little grind on the tour lately. So first round of Idlewild just wasn't happening for me. Disc was coming out a little sideways and stuff. So.
Yeah, and I just looked. Paul Macbeth had 4 birdies, and let me just look real quick at what you had, if you remember the first.
I had 6 birdies, 4 bogeys.
Okay, so Paul, I was trying to set it up here because that's like a totally different way to do it. Like you were still getting birdies, but you were just getting the bogeys in there.
Yeah,
Paul,
4 bogeys in Idlewild is not good.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm looking at here is Paul went par all the way through hole 6, which I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, hole 1 is a pretty easy birdie. Yeah.